and move to the south later on. So that's why I kept that 20 to 30% chance for a passing storm in the forecast tonight. Not widespread rain, but some of these storms still throughout the weekend and going into the day tomorrow will manage to sneak in from the north, and we'll have to watch out for that. But we'll show you the big story here next week. It looks like the forecast not too far from where we should be going into the month of July. Now, right now, we're kind of dealing with the extremes. We have the triple-digit feels-like temperatures, but I think in the early next week, highs closer to 90 degrees where we should be, and we'll start to see more afternoon storms. And that's very typical going to the 4th of July and beyond, as we call it, the dog days of summer. But we'll show you what's on the way in the long range. I'll have the 7-day forecast. We got Mickey's Weather Kit we get to check in with, and also that 4th of July forecast as we continue with Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The First Alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. I'm First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle, and we are still, talking about the heat. And it's always important that we are hydrated, but especially when it's this hot outside. However, experts say there's more to being hydrated than just drinking water. Over the next few days, you'll probably want to have some water close by to prevent heat exhaustion or heat stroke. But if you're planning to exercise or be outside for longer periods of time, you also want to make sure you're including sodium.
So we can't maintain intensity, we can't maintain duration. Our overall performance starts to kind of suffer. So maintaining proper hydration, especially in those hotter, humid temperatures, becomes really important just to maintain our overall performance level.
Before a long day outside, you'll want to hyperhydrate. Marissa Bella with the Department of Human Studies at UAB says you'll want to drink up to 7 milliliters of water per your weight in kilograms 4 hours before exercising. So to break that down, someone who weighs 150 pounds will need to drink 10 cups of water.
If we're in a hot and humid environment and all of a sudden you realize that you're thirsty, it may be too late. You may be too dehydrated.
Bello says depending on what you're doing outside, you'll want to stop for water at least every 15 minutes. Then once you're back inside, you'll need to rehydrate. She recommends up to 24 ounces per pound of body weight you lost during the day. And make sure you are also consuming sodium, like in the form of electrolytes. Without it, our bodies dilute the water that we're drinking.
So with this, sodium is critical. So when we look at how our muscles activate, how our muscles work, our heart works, sodium is one of our most important minerals for it.
Dehydration can lead to heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Heat exhaustion lowers your blood pressure and you might not be using the bathroom as much.
Usually if you get out of the heat, use some evaporative cooling methods, get a fan on you, you can usually feel better pretty quickly.
And heat stroke is much more serious, and the symptoms include lightheadedness or heart palpitations.
That's when you experience the mental status changes. You can even go into a coma. You feel lightheaded. You can pass out.
And now when it comes to kids in comparison to adults and hydration, children, they don't sweat as much as you will. And you'll want to make sure that they are getting enough fluid so they can keep their core temperatures down. And spending time in the sun, especially on hot days like today, can quickly lead to heat illness. And it's important to be aware of your body temperature. We're on your side with the biggest differences between heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Take a look at these symptoms of heat exhaustion like dizziness, heavy sweating, and extreme thirst, maybe even nausea, versus the signs of heat stroke, or the signs of a heat stroke are confusion, dizziness, and slurred speech or headaches. If you see someone showing signs of heat stroke or experiencing a medical emergency, be sure to call 911. And many people will be turning to the water to stay cool this 4th of July weekend. And law enforcement agencies are increasing holiday boat patrols. Kelvin Reynolds is on your side from Tuscaloosa with what you can expect if you're going to be on the water.
This year, the 4th of July is on a Tuesday. Because of that, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, or ALEA, says it's starting its boating patrols today. Troopers expect to see a lot of traffic on waterways. They ask you to watch out for other boaters and make sure you're not operating your watercraft in a careless or reckless manner. Authorities will not tolerate any alcohol-related offenses. It's boaters' responsibility to know if they're on a waterway where people can or cannot have alcohol. Drinking and operating a boat will be treated the same as drinking and driving. Troopers won't allow it. One group worked dozens of alcohol-related cases on the water on the 4th of July last year in 2022.
Now, we did have a large number of alcohol-related cases. Me and my partner, Trooper Wise, we made probably 60 alcohol cases in the holiday weekend of 4th of July last year. So it's something that we really need to work on, and it's something that we're going to have some help from the public with.
State troopers added they'll be using all available resources to have a big presence on our waterways and to try to be as visible as possible. Kelvin Reynolds, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
This high heat is dangerous for us, but experts say it feels even hotter for your pets. They're encouraging you to only walk your pets early in the morning or at night because they can easily suffer heat stroke as well. Our Lauren Jackson joins us with more on the telltale sign that your dog has a heat emergency.
It's really, really dangerous.
Alabama's extreme heat can be deadly for dogs. Experts say they can suffer from a heat stroke and heat exhaustion just like humans.
If we are outside, we might have a bottle of water in our hand, or we might be walking somewhere where they don't have that luxury. They don't have the luxury to tell us, hey, this is really too hot for me. It happens very quickly and it happens often.
Excessive panting, refusing to eat, and lack of energy are all signs of a heat emergency. But if your dog starts to throw up, you need to rush to the vet.
Your dog vomits, that is definitely 100% a sign, and you want to get to your veterinarian as soon as possible. In fact, on the way to the vet, you'd probably want to be doing things to cool your dog down in the vehicle, like, cold rags under the arms, on the chest, on the head, things like that, because once they get to a certain temperature, it's very difficult to decrease that temperature back down to a normal temp.
And if you have an outside dog, experts say try to move them inside for the next few days. Even a doghouse is just too hot.
You want it to have openings on the side so that it can get a breeze through there so they can get some air. Definitely always access to water.
And it's not just furry dogs or dogs with thick coats you have to worry about.
I would be more concerned about the dogs with the more squish face. So, your Boston Terriers, your boxers, your pugs, dogs with that style of snout have an even harder time in this situation. So you have to be very extra careful with those guys.
Experts say try to avoid traveling with your pet over the next few days, and because they can quickly overheat in the bed of a truck and can also quickly die if you leave them inside the car with no AC. Well, this isn't breaking news, but a reminder as we go into a sweltering Friday night and Saturday, First Alert Weather Day, we got to be careful with mixing the heat with alcohol. Doctors with UAB, excuse me, they are reminding you that paired with the extreme heat and humidity, excessive alcohol intake can lead to significant health concerns like severe dehydration and even hospitalization. Doctors say as people feel they're thirstier, they may reach for alcohol or another alcoholic drink rather than alternating with water. It can also make you feel full, and doctors say that can lead to drinking less water and not eating properly. But we'll continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist will be right back after the break with a look at that 7-day forecast.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back into Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. We've had First Alert weather days, another First Alert weather day tomorrow for the extreme heat. And there's a chance we may need to extend it right on into Sunday with these temperatures. So check in over the weekend. We're going to have plenty of updates, but you can clearly tell that the heat backs off a little bit into next week. I mean, look, 90 degrees is still steamy, but at least the temperature levels are getting a little bit closer to where we should be as we go into the month of July. But you can see scattered afternoon storms. You know, July is one of those months, it's kind of interesting here. I did a lot of research on precipitation throughout the summer here in Alabama when I was studying a lot of climate. And one thing about July is sometimes we can see a lot of cold fronts that actually reach down into the southeast, but also see higher rain chances. So we do see a little bit of wet weather there through July, and you can see how rain chances are jumping up around 50 to 60% there in the next week. Scattered storms will be a possibility, so watch out for some big lightning producers, and especially right now with this heat wave like we're dealing with. Sometimes you get storms that pop up here. They tend to be high based because of the temperature extremes and what we call the dew point depression. So you end up with some very intense electrical storms, some of the most intense electrical storms with respect to lightning that you can see here across Alabama. Right now we're not seeing storms out there. We're looking at across the state, things have really settled down, but we got the storm activity a little bit earlier in the day. Another little, what we call a little short wave rode around the ridge down into East Alabama with storms. Those have dissipated, but where we had the storms to the east, what happens is it sends a little boundary, some of that rain cooled air back off to the west, and that's what you're seeing. The radar's picking up on a little outflow boundary, and we can see it because of all the dust that's been kicked up as that wind flow kind of comes in from the east direction. So we're detecting that with the radar down into Shelby County. But sometimes this is all it takes on a day like this where it's so hot out there. whether it's a boundary like this, a gravity wave, or some cold pooling, it can kick off one of those thunderstorms. So it would not surprise me at all if we saw an isolated storm pop up this evening. That's why I kept that rain chance in there for tonight, right around 30%. I want to walk you through this data, and just going through the time on this, we're seeing some indicators that overnight tonight, late tonight, and into tomorrow morning that we could see some scattered storms, and we just got an update. Just want to show you this as we walk through hour by hour. We'll take the time here. We'll go through the overnight and see right there. That's showing 11 o'clock, maybe around the Anniston area. Some of the data earlier today was showing over into West Alabama. So just watch to the north tonight. Check the weather app. Those storms that we're seeing across Kentucky and Tennessee, some of that could work southward. So we get into tomorrow. It's going to be dry in the morning, afternoon. Let's stop it right here about 4 o'clock. See 98 Demopolis, 97 in Birmingham. Still a chance some of these storms could intensify, redevelop. You can see back into Mississippi, some of that's going to work in across our northwest areas. There will be some scattered storm development, but the new data is telling us that Sunday especially, look at this, you see how the coverage starts to increase. And notice right there, we're still seeing 98 Tuscaloosa. It's still going to be a hot day. There's a chance we'll probably see another first alert weather day there on Sunday because of these hot conditions. But it's going to be hot regardless. In the next week, even though the heat backs off, it's July in Alabama, so those temperatures close to 90. But we will see more afternoon storms. You can see that the coverage there, the data showing that we'll see a gradual increase. And we bump rain chances up to 60% on Tuesday and Wednesday. But every year when it comes, I always remember that Thunder on the Mountain forecast. We're always talking about scattered storms in the afternoon, and most of the time we get those storms. They dissipate just in time for all the big fireworks shows, so we should be in good shape. We got the show in Alabaster for tomorrow evening, and it looks about like that 40% chance of rain will also apply here in Shelby County, so check the weather app just in case we have some storms and some lightning alerts out there, but look for those rain chances to be with us right on through the middle and end of next week. But we will certainly keep you updated throughout the weekend. Lots of updates on our First Alert forecast on our weather app, and check in during the evenings and early mornings. And we'll be back to talk with Mickey's Weather Kid after the break.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert weather.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. I'm First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle, and you know what time it is. It is Friday. It's dinner time, but not just yet. We have to check in with First Alert meteorologist Mickey Ferguson with Mickey's Weather Kid.
That's right. It's all made possible by AmFirst Visa. You just get your AmFirst Visa gift card?
Yes, sir.
AmFirst Credit Union. So you want to say some shout outs from where are you from again?
Lineville.
And who do you want to say hello to?
My dentist, Dr. Norby, and my barber, Miss Jamie.
Miss Jamie gave you this lovely locks of hair, and I'm going to go by and see her. She give me a mullet too. Who else you want to say hi to?
My Gigi and my Pawpaw and my cousin Lindsay.
And all the folks in Lineville?
Yes, sir.
All the folks in Lineville. All right. Hope y'all are all watching today. Watching your man, Jackson. And Jackson, what is going on? Let me back you up just a little bit. But what's going on today?
There's a first alert weather day.
And why is that?
And the heat index is near 105 to 115.
So that's pretty serious stuff there. Any way to stay cool where you are?
Water.
Water, you jump in the pool?
Yeah,
or you got a pool? That's all. That sounds like a good idea. Point over here and let me know what some of these temperatures are. What about this place right here?
Talladega is, Birmingham is 81.
Yeah,
and then
you mentioned Talladega, right?
Talladega is 72, and then Anniston is 73.
Anniston, 73 degrees. All right, so we have clear skies here, Jackson, but off to our north and east into Tennessee, what's going on?
It's raining and thunderstorms.
Yeah, and we've got about a 30% chance of that happening here at home. But the big story here at home, Jackson, is the heat. What's happening here at noontime today?
It's going to feel like 93.
Well, it is 93.
Well, it is 90.
Noon. And the feels like temperature?
It's 101.
Okay, what about later on this afternoon? Got a forecast high?
It's going to feel like It's going to be 99 and feel like 108.
That is pretty hot stuff. So you got a pool at home?
Yes, sir.
To cool things off?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful summer. Catch lots of catfish, hang out with Johnny and Cash and your other pets, and just have a good old time. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
All right. Lineville's got to be proud. Kids, if you want to do the weather with me, tell your mom or dad. You got between the ages of 5 and 12 to enter. But you go to WBRC.com. There's a drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner. Look for the Good Day link and Mickey's Weather Kids, and every kid who's picked gets an AmFirst Visa gift card for $25. You know what you're going to do with that $25?
Might go to Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's. All right, sounds like a plan. All right, wonderful job. Let's go.
Good job, Jackson. You did a very great job on that key wall, but not only that, you are rocking that hairdo. And so I'm going to talk about that 7-day forecast, give you all a final glance at it. Here's a look at what you can expect as we enter our 4th of July weekend. Daytime highs still very hot. A first alert weather day in effect for your Saturday. A 40% chance for those scattered showers and storms. Dangerously hot conditions. Those feel like temperatures, like Jackson was just talking about, can still range anywhere from about 105 to 110 degrees for your Saturday, especially areas to the west. But here we are looking at Sunday with a 40% chance for passing showers and storms. We've got daytime highs in the mid 90s, maybe a few upper 90s, those overnight temperatures in the 70s. We bring in Monday with a 50% chance for those showers and storms. And notice how we have daytime highs dropping into the low 90s as we start next week. I think the wet weather that we see this weekend through your 4th of July will help lower those heat index values as well as those daytime highs. We bring in 4th of July, like Wes was mentioning, there is a chance for some showers and storms, but I'm hopeful that we'll dry up just in time to catch some fireworks. And then we bring in mid to late next week with still some rain and showers and storms in the forecast. Daytime highs dipping down into the upper 80s by Wednesday, and then we could still see some upper 80s, low 90s for the second half of next week. But of course, you can keep checking in right here at WBRC, Fox 6 News, and on our First Alert weather app. And don't forget to tune in tonight for First at 9 for more details on that 7-day forecast with Chief Meteorologist Wes White and the evening crew. We'll be here next Monday for another episode of First Alert Weather Extra. Have a safe and happy Friday evening. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and we'll catch you next week.